G'day friends and fans, welcome to Day Talk Stuff, and I'm going to say something right off the bat that is so controversial, but it will blow your mind when you realise it is the truth. The patriarchy never existed. Since time immemorial, man has been forced to serve women. If you wanted her company since the dawn of time, you had to build a shelter or deliver dead animals, preferably cooked or skinned, to the doorstep in order to get your rocks off. Since time immemorial, man has always, and it has increasingly gotten worse, to the rise of, in the Middle Ages, the rise of the age of chivalry, the romantic era of the 17th century, even today, modern dating, chocolates and flowers, you look at, or stockings, increasingly, right? Men would buy love with gifts, right? Happy life, happy wife, buy her jewelry, buy her anniversary gifts. You look at the anniversary gifts, where in that list is anything for men? You're lucky to get the birthday blowjob, right? It is on and on and on, told over and over by radical feminists that there is a patriarchy and that women are fighting for equality. No, they are not. They are fighting to keep the system of privilege for themselves. And once you realize that the last vestige of feminism is all about the transfer of wealth to stop you from transferring wealth to your children, but to, right? No, it's all about transferring wealth to the woman, right? Because increasingly, right? Now, there are many, many, many ways the matriarchy has expressed itself over the years, but in the since the 60s, there's been a rise of the thing called femdom, and that is the feminist kingdom. Right. The feminist, now there's two types of feminists. There's the femdom and the femcel. The femcel, of course, is the radical feminists who know the 4B movement, like the 4B movement, no sex with men, no dating men, no having male children, and of course having no other contact with men, to see men as nothing but a disposable tool of society. The femdom is about the subjugation of men and the superiority of the woman. But of course, women are superior until a backhand, but you cannot backhand a woman because they can get the power of the simp, aka the state, to arrest you for defending yourself. Bound to be girl boss. Yes. Kiss my hand, girl boss.
And serve you lunch, even if he's working.
Shut up!
But it's true. Men have never asked themselves the complicated questions until mgtow. mgtow is opening up freedom, my friends. Brothers, we are free. It is the workaholic, the simpaholic, who goes to work to provide a house and a car and all the creature comforts to a creature who increasingly only sees you as an ATM. Because your mother, your father, your representatives, your opposition leaders, your churches will not defend you.
Masculine duty to serve women, but women don't have a feminine duty to serve men.
I think it has a lot to do with our upbringing and the media and
television. Absolutely. Every
Every day for the past 30 years, you high-heeled pit bulls have blamed us for everything. From not being able to get into Harvard to not being able to get into stretch pants.
Television, you're supposed to do everything for a woman in order to gain her love or trust.
How is that not simping if it doesn't go both ways?
It is. It is simping. It definitely is simping. It doesn't go both ways. That's right. Yeah.
I think
You ain't first. You're last.
it is simping. I think people need to wake up, and I think chivalry needs to die if it's not reciprocated.
I don't have a chair. I thought I had a chair. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Men, if it ain't both ways, if it ain't fair, and since when is feminist about equality? Has any actress wanted be paid the same as the co-star? No. She wants to be always paid the same as as the male lead, even though her screen time is pathetic at best, and her performance is bring me dead tuna. Now, dead tuna, lie on the bed and don't move. Perfect. You're the perfect woman.
How can relationships ever be 50-50 if the man is always the one who's expected to sacrifice himself for the woman and serve her with chivalry?
That is a misleading question because the man isn't always expected to
emotional damage
to give up everything for the woman. My relationships have always been 50-50, and
You like eating red carpet, tough guy?
yes
Say you like eating red carpet!
I like eating red carpet.
Giggity.
Bit of a monologue, I know. But radical feminism has always been about servitude of men to women. As prostitution increasingly became illegal, and remember, it's always been around. It was spread throughout America, right, through the 1880s, all the way through. It was only the rise of morality post that had seen. And what happened when men started to assert moral dominance? That is when feminism rose. Women assert, when you took away their right to payment for sex, they turned against you and started dismantling the patriarchy, which suddenly came into existence, despite the fact that to end any social structure of dominance where men dominate, because they claim that any time that you could dominate a woman, you're oppressive and exploitive. Remember, abolish the patriarchy, challenge gender roles, seeing sex as a class, and analysis of the root causes of the patriarchy and oppression as capitalism. Remember, feminism and communism is communism. Now, most of the attitude of women must serve men and men must serve women is often taken as sarcasm, and increasingly the amount of radical feminization for men, increasingly feminism has become a men's movement where men, like the simp you just saw, talk about 50-50 and equality and breaking gender norms, right? Oh, my relationships have been 50-50. What's that mean? Every time we break up, she gets half of everything. That's the reality. But of course, it's the allyship. No, I'm her ally. I'm her partner. I'm supportive. I rub her feet. I give her flowers. I give her jewelry. What's the 50% you get? I get to hang out with her. Isn't that wonderful? I get to stroke her hair. I get to be with her. Oh, I'm such a lucky guy. Yeah. What's that called again? Simp. All right.
Emphasize on the serve, because I've dated so many men.
What do we call that again? Prostitution. It's not dating, it's prostitution. Dating is when you are going through the process of giving yourself to be selected. The man should choose the wife. The wife should offer what she brings to the table. So you go, I'm looking for a kayaker. I'm a kayaker looking for a kayaker. Or I'm a dog person looking for a dog person. You only need a point of reference, right? And because everything else is, you are coming to my home to provide me with children, to provide me with comfort, to take care of my home, and in return, I will take care of you. You are not to expect anything, and if you don't like it, you can lump it. But no, the patriarchy died in the Middle Ages when the establishment wanted prostitutes because you could tax prostitutes, you could use and abuse and discard prostitutes, and by turning women into prostitutes, you don't have to take care of them. And so the state, the religious state, actually has victims to take care of. Do you understand that organized religion, any organization, creates victims? War, right? Militaries create war. Governments create laws. And in order to have laws, they need criminals. To continue. Oh, mental ID bracelet confirmed. Septum ring alert. And of course you've got the tattoos, you've got the jewelry, you've got the swami skin of the you've got the bukkake skin, right? You've got the deadpan eyes.
And also have spoken
The vagina mouth.
to a lot of men that are very much not into serving women.
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
It's always, well, what do you bring to the table? Well, what do you have for me? Well,
You ain't first, you're last.
I got you this the other day, now you owe me. It's always that. And it's very sad because only a small percentage of men were raised properly where a woman does what she does, a man does what he does.
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
So, hold on.
Y'all come together as a team.
Women want such an unfair deal, and I should say modern women want such an unfair deal. She seems so sad how men don't service women anymore, and what you have to ask yourself is, why aren't men...
What you have to ask yourself is...
You ain't first, you're last.
serving women like they used to if women are still the same. That's because women are not the same. It's like men of the past were willing to do so much because the women of the past were so much not like women today. They didn't come with the attitudes. They were more cooperative. They were more fit. They listened.
Yeah, women understood there were no options. Unfortunately, men created the matriarchy. Rich men always created the matriarchy. It is over and over again. And when these rich men die off, society starts coming back to the middle, right? You see but there has always been a matriarchy. There's always been rich men who pass their wealth to women, and women to create a matriarchy. You look today, the millionaires and billionaires, they are increasingly, who are the billionaires? You have J.K. Rowling, right, with her Harry Slopper, right, who has spent over $1 billion on radical feminists. Over $1 billion. You have Mackenzie Bezos, who has given billions to radical feminists, including the 4B movement. You have many rich women who funded Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You have over 149 rich women who dominate the political donor class. Right? Every generation, as it comes to an end, has tried to turn society into a matriarchy. That's why you have these endless cycles of chivalry, of romance, and now feminism, right? And once you see it, right, once you see all the women, once you see all these communist groups are all women, all these peace groups are all women, all these people who want the Ukraine war are mostly women. All the women look at all the young women who are protesting. The young men protesting against Iran is only because they don't want to go to work. They want their college degrees so they can go around debating Marx. They think the world owes them a living for breathing.
More. They followed leadership more. They stayed in their lane more. They were more feminine. They dressed more feminine. They were more modest in the way that they spoke.
And is he wrong?
In the way, and they represented men a lot better. Do you think men are supposed to be serving women and then she's out there making them look like a fool out here in a bonnet and blue hair? No, that's not how it works. And you hear what she says. A man servicing her and him expecting reciprocity, that is somehow looked at as bad. That's called equality. That's called the thing that you women have fought for, and now you want equality in every area except romance. That would be an unfair, unbalanced deal for the men. So men are saying, no, where's the reciprocity? I did that for you. And the reason he has to even do that, the reason a man would even have to bring up, hey, I did that for you, what's up for me, is because you haven't been given a reciprocity. That's the reason why a man would have to bring that up. But it's weird how she describes this as a team. And you notice she said a woman does this and a man does that. Doesn't describe how it's a lopsided deal. It is supposed to be, that's just how women are supposed to be. And what they keep leaving out of this analysis is that the reason a lot of women of the past were treated that particular way was because of the critique you have of the patriarch, that they couldn't work. Now you work. That means stuff is different now.
Just because you work doesn't mean you're entitled to shit. And that is how it should be, right? If you go to work, what are you entitled to? A paycheck. You're not entitled to a house. You're not entitled to a car. You're not entitled to any goods and services. You receive, you produce, you get a reward. That is it. Yet women somehow think that they are entitled to shelter. They're entitled to health care. They're entitled to, now they want free food. They want payments because increasingly the cost of living is too high. That is because you keep wanting health care, and as soon as you get free health care, you run it up. You go get your nails done, You're going to the gynecologist every month, right? Women are actually booking regular visits to gynecologists, like over and over and over again. You know what they're doing? That's right. They're getting abortions over and over again, right? They're billing you, right? They're going around slutting and then going to the gynecologist to make sure they don't have the consequences of their actions between their legs. There should be a law. Third abortion, we're ripping all your plumbing out. Right? Women increasingly are
Kids. The Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for
Why
a
should a
brain.
man provide for a woman and not expect her to serve him? And look, I'm even going to wear my glasses, so if you disagree, you can make fun of how I look. This video can't cover every reason, but bear with me. Reason number one is if a man truly loves a woman, he doesn't want her to pay for anything. This has been my personal experience and many women's experiences, okay? We have learned that when a man is truly interested in you specifically, he doesn't want you to pay for anything. If
You ain't first, you're last.
you like her and another woman, or you're just not too interested in her, but she's the best that's around right now, why should she settle for that? And if you're gonna say, well, for me, that's not true. I really am interested in her. I just don't want to pay for everything. Well, women know that generous men are out there, so why should she lower her standards specifically for you? And next you say, but I cannot afford it. And that's where I say, fair, the economy is terrible right now. But we also know that if you wanted to, you would find a way. My high school boyfriend, he worked part-time jobs and stuff to save up so that he could take me on dates and buy me gifts. I didn't ask him to. I didn't tell him to. I never even conceptualized him doing that. He just
You was crying like a pussy. Yeah.
did. Women know that when a man really, really loves a woman, it's going to light a fire under his butt to like be a better man, to do more things. And if that isn't happening for you, then she's probably not the best match for you either.
Kids. The Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
Your next thing is, well, she isn't worth the money or the time. Then why are you in her DMs? Why are you bothering this young lady? Let her go. Women
Emotional damage.
do not exist as vending machines for you to put out things that you like. And you're
the irony, right? That women do not exist to put out things that you like, but men exist to put out things that women like. I can't stand this whore. Honestly, men, we do not live in a patriarchy. We have never lived in a patriarchy. The world these men talk about. I remember as a kid that men used to complain their wives are balls and chains. Benny Hill, all these TV shows, you go back to Bless This House, you go back multiple generations to the 50s, that Hollywood sold men a false bill of goods after World War II. The reason why they called it the silent generation is because they suffered in silence. The matriarchy has, right, I'm telling you right now, the periods that men talk about and look back at fondly, like when our grandfathers would sit back out and say, when I was a boy, right, we repaired our relationships. That's because there was no divorce. Women didn't... See, this is the problem. All this garbage exists because of liberals and libertarians. They keep talking about things being voluntary. You give us a gift, it's only voluntary. But do women ever voluntarily give you sex without asking for anything? No! You have whores like this telling you, no, never, ever. Give them nothing. They don't deserve it. They have to give you something, and then you only decide. And then you decide. Now, I've cut off half a speech, but you really want to hear the rest of it. Most people tune out by now. Most people are not going to listen to these whores. They tune out. These women drone on and on. There are hundreds of these videos. Hundreds of these whores complaining that men won't give them anything. The Bible has taught us legions of advice. You only have to remember 20 or 30 passages. And you don't even have to really remember them all. You just live them and have record of them. And you don't even have to believe in God or Jesus to actually understand that. And this is why people believe in God and Jesus, because they read the Bible and go, wow, this is stuff that never existed before. Right? This amazing set of circumstances. That doesn't... And when you understand them all, and I'm going to try and teach them to you all, maybe, I don't know. To be honest, I need more feedback from you. I need more of the... without the feedback, without knowing what content you're really responding to. Because a lot of people, I want to educate a lot of people, and right, I don't want, and you got to understand, for MGTOW to survive, it has to grow. All right, otherwise we keep going back through these cycles of matriarchy. If we do not, young men, we have to teach young men to be resilient. And understand that women come at you with these ludicrous arguments that, oh, I owe you nothing, it's freedom, it's my choice. No, it's not. It is a fair exchange. If there is not a fair exchange, that's a violation of my freedom. I do not want you if you are not there to provide for me. I do not exist. It is not my pleasure to be... And the women will hit you up with, oh, but you have to help me. You have to be the Good Samaritan. No, that's about helping a stranger in distress. That's not... This is how they twist the Bible to their own ends and means. They always twist everything to their own ends and means. They always interpret everything as me, myself, and I. Right? There is no we in their equality. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Please support the channel. You can support the channel and Patreon. Buy my books, buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video. Bye for now.